Hello, 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 and welcome to Sunday's Best. I trust that you're inside, warm, not outside trying to do anything that could be of danger. Although here in Colombia, for the most part, I haven't been out, but for the most part, it looks like we got spared the snow. Not sure about the ice. It looks like it's a little bit icy out there. So again, welcome to Sunday's Best, where we share everything financial. And this month we have been focusing in, hey, Gloria Moore, we have been focusing in on money management. Can you still hear me, Gloria? Hello, Olivia. Okay, looked like I had gone off for a minute. Hello, Genevieve, Olivia, and Gloria Moore, Queen Elizabeth. Let's see who else is on. Gloria says she can hear me. Very good. So, last week was Martin Luther King's birthday weekend, and we're always grateful for the contribution that he made to mankind, not just to Black folks, but to everybody. He wanted peace and he wanted equality. And so we still have to fight for those things today, right, Marva? So we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our money. We have to try to create wealth. So last week we talked about poor lessons that enrich my life, or poor lessons that enrich your life. And we talked about what poverty is. It's the state of being extremely poor. And I said, been there, done that before, but you can rise up from that. We talked about what wealth was, and having wealth has to do with having assets and having resources and having money. And we talked about mindset is needed for both of those. You can choose. You can have a poor mindset, poverty mindset. That's what you'll attract. You can have a wealthy mindset. Hello, Victoria and Andrea Williams and Lavinia. So we talked about poverty, wealth, mindset, and belief. And I think I left you with the saying that poor people look for attention. So they dress for it, they drive for it, they go to work for it. But wealthy people want freedom. So do you want to look good or to actually be good? All right, so that was kind of to catch you up on last week. And again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your tax preparer. Not your attorney, not any of that. But what I do share with you is what I know for sure. And that is, you got to manage your money. You got to have the right mindset. Genevieve, hi, Marion. We have Marion Burgess on tonight. I think it's Burgess on tonight. Welcome. Hey, Gloria Lukey. It's Washington. So tonight, we're going to have a little fireside chat. And it's been cold enough to pull a chair up, if you could, and sit by the fire. You know how we used to do it? Sit by the fire. But you had to go outside, cut the wood, start the fire, maintain the fire in order to keep it warm. So it was a process. Now we have things a little bit better. We have a gas fireplace. And if you have a gas fireplace, you just ignite it. So the same is the fireside chat that we're going to have tonight. You may very well be doing some of these things already. But this chat tonight is about money matters. And it can warm your heart or it can make you sad. It depends on whether you have some whether you want some, whether you have a plan to get some, and whether you're really expecting it to come in abundance. It's all about the mindset. The mindset will set you up. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Have you ever made a money mistake? Oh, and those of you who are new, we put up a $sign if we paid ourselves. That's our built-in protection. We got to learn to pay ourselves, okay? So, how many of you have ever made a money mistake? Most of us don't have to think too long. If you made a money mistake. Hello, Pastor Glenn Fulton. Thank you for getting on tonight. So how many of you made a money mistake? While you're thinking, let me give you 5. And the 5th one is the one that we all often make. Gloria Moore says yes. Genevieve said yes, she's made a money mistake. I know I have. Number 1, taking on too much debt is a money mistake. Number 2, failing to save on a regular basis, failing to pay yourself, pay your tithe, and save on a regular basis is a money mistake. Number 3, failing to pay off high interest rate debt before you start investing. Number 4, eating out too much. Have you ever made that mistake? Number 5, which is actually the number 1 mistake that most people make, and it is excessive spending, spending more than you make. Hey, Vivian and Gwen Mapp. So again, number 1 is taking on too much debt. Mistake. Failing to save on a regular basis. Mistake. Failing to pay off high interest rate debt first. Mistake. Eating out too much. Mistake. Excessive spending. Now, of those 5, I believe it's safe to say all 5 are within your control. All 5. Nobody makes you do any of those things. It's a choice, and it's a fireside chat. So we're not pointing the finger at anybody. I'm certainly not in a position to do that. And we all have been there. We all have made mistakes. So it's time to put your house in order. You know, when you go in the courtroom, they say order in the court, or they say you out of order. Well, when it comes to your money, you got to do things in order. Okay, I'm a real estate agent. I'm not your attorney. I'm not your physician. I'm not your financial advisor, but I'm a real estate agent. I'm an investor. I'm a coach, a lifestyle coach. I'm an author. So those things I can tell you about. And most things that I tell you about financially, I've either practiced or I wouldn't say it, or I hear that it's something good that we should be able to do. I think I saw a couple of more people come on. So again, time to put your affairs in order if you ever want to fix your money problem. See, the biggest thing is when you know you got a problem and you're willing to admit that you have a problem. It's only then that you can move forward and clear the path to bigger and better. So I'm a real estate agent. So if I bought a piece of property and I knew it was in need of repair inside, but every day I'm over there or have people over there making the landscape look good, making the landscape look real good. I don't know, for some reason this is popping off and on tonight. But that's not where the work needs to be at. Okay? It's not where the work needs to be at. So you got to put things in priority. And this fireside chat is the place to do that. So you got to start first putting things in priority. In order to do that, you got to write the vision, make it plain. What is it that you are trying to do? You got to know what you're trying to accomplish. You got to know where you are so you can measure or track how much progress or how far you've come. Okay? Because you got to work on your finance. You got to work on yourself. You got to work on your goals. There are just a lot of things that you have to work on. So trying to save money is one of the things that you must do on a continual basis. Vacations, borrowing money for just to buy something because you want to buy it, that's not doing things in the right order. It'll be a time for you to do that. You can grow up to do that. Nobody's going to deprive you of having a great life, but you got to spend right until you can get it right. You got to spend right. Hey, Gloria Cooper and Martha, you got to spend right until you can get it right. So money must be well thought out. Money must be organized, and money must be prioritized. Did you know that in order to get your house in order, you have to check yourself before you wreck yourself? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. And stop doing money backwards. Here's an example of doing money backwards. Let's say you're going to get $5,000 refund from your tax return. And you're like, this is the most money I had in my hand all year. I'm going to pay off 2 credit cards. One of those credit cards, let's just say both of them are 25% interest rate. Or you can make the decision, I don't have an emergency fund. So I'm going to take $2,500 of this $5,000 and establish an emergency fund. I'm going to take the other $2,500 and look at my debts. Look at the ones that have the highest interest rate. And I'm going to decide either to pay those debts off or I'm going to put that other $2,500 in a savings account. Well, when you're trying to do things in the right order and not keep making money mistakes, guess what? You can put that whole $5,000. Hey, Connie, welcome. You could put that whole $5,000 in a savings account. In month 1, you didn't even earn $1. Month 2, you didn't even earn $1. But if you had prioritized your debt and attacked a credit card debt that you had for 25% interest, and you doubled down on that, instead of paying $25, you paid even $1,000. You already saved yourself a lot of money. So you can do the right thing with money at the wrong time, or you can think you're doing the right thing, but you're not getting the most bang for your buck. All right? So getting your house in order requires you to prioritize. So if you're taking notes, I'm going to give you about 7 what we call nuggets. I got that one from my friend Vivian and her son, Pastor Jamal. These are going to be called nuggets. Hey, Jennifer, welcome. So step number 1, if you are trying to not keep making the same money mistakes, and we've all made money mistakes, and the number 1 reason we make money mistakes is overspending, spending more than we make. Okay? So step number one, it keeps coming back to this, y'all. Write those goals down. Write those bills down. If you see it, you say it, you think it, the likelihood is you're going to remember it. All right? So write the goals down. What do you want in life? Financially, relationship-wise, growth, what do you want to grow in exponentially this year and the rest of your life? What is it that you want? How can you get there from where you are? First, you got to know where you are. All right? So, you've got to put things in order. Put everything has a place. Put it where it belongs. And if you put it on your list, you can say things like, okay, here's what I want in life. I want to pay off. I want to be clear where my money's going, number one, so I'm going to write it down. I want to pay off my car by August 11th, 2026. Why do I want to do that? The car payment is, I want to get out of debt. And so what I want to do is that car payment is, say, $600. Where am I going to earmark that $600 to go? Do I have an emergency fund of at least $3,000? If so, then I'm going to attack debt. That is the order. All right? You don't start saving money and holding on to bills that are 20%, 25%. Those bills are not going away in 5 years, 10 years, and not even 20 in some cases. So you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. Thank you, Glenn. You got to figure it out. So you say, I want to save. My goal is to save $25,000 by August 11th, 2027. So you break that down. 24 months to save $25,000. What is it that I have to change? What priority would I have to put my financial, how would I put my financial house in order to save $25,000 in 2 years? Well, if you got that car paid off and you already got the emergency, and I've been teaching it for 7 years. If you got that emergency fund in place, even if it's depleted and you need to build it back up, that $600 where you paid off the car is really going to help. Let's just say the next step after you write it down. You've written down what you're trying to pay off. I want my house and my car to be paid off before I retire. Write out a plan. How many years to retirement? Look at it, track it. Know what you owe on the home, know what you owe on the car. And every time you get a Social Security increase, every time you get a raise, every time your investments get a great return, remember, those are your two goals, or two of your goals. If you're like me, you have to focus on, I call them my big rocks, because I'm never short on a goal. So I really have to focus because I can't do all of them at once. So that's number one. But I made it step by step. Car payment, the money, want to save $25,000 in 2 years. The point is, these things have meaning to you. You have to plan it, and you have deadlines, and those are most important. And people who don't fix their mind won't fix their finances. So write the vision, fix your mind, then you can fix your finances. Number 2, and I'm going to speed up a little bit because I talk a little bit slow. Number 2, get organized. Have a written monthly budget. Know where things are. Know how much something is costing you. Don't jump all over the place. Stay focused. And while you're staying focused and organized, you should write down, take a piece of paper. I mean, you might could do it. I'm sure some of you can do it on the computer, but I'm still a pen and paper type person. All your assets, write down everything you own. Okay? Then your liability, everything you owe. And at the bottom will be when you subtract what you owe from what you own, that'll be your net worth. And if you're trying to build a net worth of, say, $100,000 or $1 million, you got to know where you at. If you're at ground zero, go ahead and admit it. But also declare that I'm coming out of this. So you got to have a system and you got to be organized. Number 3, get matching funds on your job. You know, if you're blessed and they're paying you 3% and you're only matching 1%, shame on you. You're leaving 2% on the table. You're leaving more than that on the table. Because if you pay 3 and they pay 3, you got 3% more than you ever would have had by yourself. So take advantage of any incentives. Hello, Val Flagler. Take advantage of any opportunity to start matching funds with matching funds on your job. Number 4, you got to have a safety net. Don't be just hanging out there on a limb. Stuff happens. A lot of it we can't control. The first 5 things I told you about, you can control those. But life gets to lifing. And there are things that are out of your control or that you just didn't count in the equation. Example of having a safety net. I have a 3-car garage. The doors are the original from when the home was built 27 years ago. Well, one by one, they're breaking. And so even a $3,000 emergency fund shouldn't be necessarily used for that as long as I got one of those doors that can work. So you have to build an emergency fund, and that has to be your safety net. Now, what you use that money for is different than the safety net that you're going to build long term, which is you're going to look at what your 6 months worth of expenses are. And when you pay that car off or when you get rid of one debt, then you might want to start building that 6-month bank account. Why? Because it'll be your safety net if you get laid off, would be helpful. All right? Number 5, you want to build your muscles up, be stronger, build a stronger foundation so that you can be in control. If you got your goals, if you get clear on your goals, you get organized, and you have your emergency fund, you have a good safety net. Number 6, and then when you get in a hole, you'll have a shovel to help dig you out, buy you some time. Otherwise, you're taking to dig yourself out with your hands. It's one handful of dirt at a time, and it won't help you get out of the hole as quick as you could. All right? So, Gloria Moore said, I'm so thankful that I've had an emergency fund because I've had numerous emergencies in 2025. Building it back up, all right? So number 7, build that emergency fund up because if you don't need it, it's additional savings. All right? I think that was number 7. Number 8, once you have accomplished the first 4 steps that I spoke about, if you're in a financial crisis, here's a question. If you're in a financial crisis, who can you turn to? Where can you turn? Do you have a plan if you're in a crisis? Do you have a step ladder to dig yourself or to help you crawl out of the hole, the financial hole that you dug or that you fell into without even realizing it? Do you have a shovel? Do you have somebody you can lean on? Or are you looking at that person? The person is you, because you can control a lot of what goes on in your finances. All right? So just last little nugget, money mistakes. We all make money mistakes, but we must prioritize our spending. We must even prioritize our savings and our investing. Glenn said, this is some rich words that's going to make me richer. Amen. And you're welcome, Glenn. And Vivian said, great idea to set aside an amount you want to save and break it down to monthly payments. She says that's good information. And again, I teach what I preach to me. Fortunately, I've been blessed. I have never had a problem with saving. I just never had a problem with saving. I've never had a problem with goals. Even when I used to write stuff down in the dirt, I never had a problem. I was never short on vision, all right? But I had to narrow my focus on vision many times and refocus in order to accomplish my goals. So build wealth in the right way. There's no quick fix. Fix the order. No quick fix. Fix the order in how you try to get out of debt. So if you're looking for a person who's going to fix your life, I don't think you'll find it. So with what I've said tonight, I want you to take it to heart and know that it is information that I'm giving myself. So I'm not telling you that you can get rich quick. But what I'm telling you is once you get focused, once you know what you want, once you know why you work, why you save, why you build an emergency fund, why you want to be free. Because if you're bound in debt all the time, you're not free. And I believe we choose freedom over most other things. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Financial freedom gives you options. It doesn't give us bragging rights. All of us want to get out of debt, but we want to get out of debt for security and to increase our lifestyle if that's what we want to do. And we don't want to just get out of debt just to be out of debt, but we got to have a purpose behind it. Gotta have a purpose. So that's it for tonight. Join me here right around the fireplace for another fireside chat next Sunday at 7 p.m. and invite somebody. Invite somebody. Thank you. Glenn says thanks for the valuable information. And Gloria Moore says thanks for sharing. And you know, it's, as I said last week, I am commissioned to do what I do. I know why I'm here. I know why I continue with Sunday's Best, why I have continued with it for nearly 7 years. And so I choose to live debt free. I pray for you to become debt free. Because you know what? The more people we help, the more we get helped in the process. And Tiffany says, good information, great reminders. Pastor Jamal says, your purpose is an answer to a problem. Absolutely. And you know what? The more problems you can solve, the more money you can make. Because people don't want to be in pain. They don't want to be in pain. They'll pay for relief. And you know what? So many of you on this line are just packed with gifts. Right, Vicki? Packed with gifts that you can give to the world, offer to the world, monetize, because you do it so well for everybody else. And you're working hard for the money all the time to help somebody else's dream come true. Why not you? Why not you? Have a good night. Be safe. Have a good life. In fact, have $1 million life. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Do what you have to do now so you can do what you don't have to do later, which is you can do what you want to do. All right? When you don't have money scraps or when you're not constantly digging yourself out of a hole. Have a good night. Bye-bye.